How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Adrock, and I once again welcome you to another Atlas Reactor Freelancer Breakdown, this time featuring Khita. Khita is a long-range support with a surprising bit of firepower to boot. Her specialty lies within focus healing, shields, and crowd control to single out and eliminate the enemies. So right now, let's take a look at all of Khita's abilities and modifications. Khita's first ability is Warped Arrow. It's a blast phase, no cooldown ability that shoots out a curved arrow that deals direct damage. Clicking once to start the aim and clicking a second time to finish. You gain 12 energy on hit. Modifications include Leaf in the Wind, which increases the maximum curve angle, Fly True, which will pierce the first target and hit a second target, To the Knee, which triggering take aim also slows the target hit, and Stocked Quiver. You gain additional energy per enemy hit. Khita's second ability is Resonance Burst. It's a prep phase 3-turn cooldown ability that creates an energy flux that grants shields to allies and weakens enemies until the end of the turn. You'll gain 6 energy per enemy hit and 4 energy per ally hit. Modifications include Jelly Legs, which will also slow enemies, Resonant Capacitor, which gains additional energy per target hit, Sonic Resonance, which up to 10 remaining shield will persist for 1 extra turn, and Focus Burst. The shield is strengthened if only one ally is shielded. Khita's third ability is Take Aim. It's a prep phase 4-turn free action ability that will mark an enemy until the end of the next turn. The first time an ally deals direct damage to that marked enemy, they are healed, or the enemy is obviously damaged. You gain 4 energy on use, and you gain 2 energy each time the target is hit. Modifications include RFID Chip, which will reveal the target enemy until the end of the next decision mode, Aim Assist, which can target through walls, Aim Again, which will heal allies a second time if they hit the marked target, Moment of Glory, which will heal allies below 50% for more, and finally Sharpshooter. Your attacks that trigger take aim deal additional damage. Khita's fourth ability is Vaulting Shot. It's a dash phase, 5-turn cooldown ability, which dashes to a location and then fires an arrow back to the opposite way, which will deal direct damage and slow anyone hit until the end of the turn. You'll gain 8 energy per enemy hit. Modifications include Cover the Field, which will increase the targeting shot angle, Surge of Energy, which will gain additional energy per target hit, Light-Footed, which will gain haste until the end of the next turn, Ready, Aim, Fire, which triggering take aim also roots the target for 1 turn, and Survivalist, increases the damage done. Khita's ultimate ability is Rain of Arrows. It's a blast phase, no cooldown ability, provided you have 100 energy. You'll rain down arrows in a line, dealing direct damage to enemies and rooting them. You'll choose 2 points in that range to create your line. You do not require line of sight, and you ignore cover. Modifications include Pins and Needles, which will reduce the cooldown of take aim, Cloudy Skies, which will gain energized until the end of the next turn, Heavy Rain, which will deal additional damage to enemies below 50%, Deluge of Arrows, which adds an additional segment to the arrow path, making it longer, and Crippling Blow. Enemies that are hit are also slowed. For Catalyst, I like to run Brain Juice or Re-Energy. Brain Juice will keep your crowd control and support rolling with less cooldown, and if you want to ult more per game, you can go with Re-Energy if you know you're going to hit people constantly. Dash Catalyst, I like to go Regroup or Fade. I run Regroup typically in case I do get cornered, and normally there's at least one other backliner around in solo queue that I can just reposition off of them. If I'm the only backliner, I like to go with Fade for the usability to give people the slip, and redirect their focus to my allies. For Blast Catalyst, I pretty much only use Probe on Khita. You don't really benefit too much with others as I think you do, as also compared to Probe, and your success as Khita revolves more around your team doing as much damage safely as possible, and sniffing out enemies or denying safe camo is the best bet with her. And now for some thoughts and opinions. Honestly, I find Khita's personality and design bland. I think she's Suzuki light, and the barbarian characters like her and Titus don't feel distinct enough from the other factions that inhabit the world of Atlas Reactor. I don't think her voice lines come through with a strong enough personality. That said though, her kit is a damn blast. Most of it revolves around take aim, and just because she's a support lancer with a really bad health pool to balance her out, it doesn't mean she's a pushover. So I'm changing the modifications slightly. From here on out, I'm only going to give my personal recommendation for my favorite mods, and while I will always encourage mod experimentation, this is how I like to run my lantern. Your results may vary, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Warped Arrow, it's a wickedly fun primary that helps clean up stragglers or curveball an enemy to keep the damage going. My mod of choice is Fly True. I like Pierce. It's always welcome because I get the little extra bit of damage and even proc stuff like Titus's daggers. To the knee is also nice, as every little bit of extra little bit helps. Resonance Burst, never underestimate this ability. In fact, use it whenever you can. A 3-turn cooldown is phenomenal to keep your allies relatively healthy and mitigate enemies ganging up on them. Personally, I like to run Jelly Legs, as the extra crowd control is always best in my opinion, and Focus Burst can be super useful, as a 36 damage shield will block almost any single attack that's not Might Enhanced, that's not an ult, which can really make or break a round. Take Aim is pretty much the cornerstone of Khita's playstyle, and some of her key mods revolve around it, they synergize around it constantly. The ability is stupid fun as well. As long as the damage is direct, your allies are going to get healed. Make sure you ping your target and type in chat, do something to tell them the healing is going to get done. It does persist till the next turn, so stragglers can always pick up the heal, or you can do like a preemptive clutch heal. Only works on one target though, so if you plan that, make sure ahead of time, and make sure it's someone that's relatively easy to catch, like their dashes are done and their dash catalyst is off, and they're not too low on energy, so you don't just blow that when they just die. I prefer Moment of Glory, as it keeps allies in the game for a little bit longer, but Aim Assist can be pretty much the swap out for that, as anything that can target through walls means no one can hide from you. Vaulting Shot. Okay, first off, the Vaulting Shot, the fact that the shot is longer than the dash is insane to me. While it's blocked by line of sight, okay, not a big deal typically, you can stop almost anyone from coming at you and block almost any other kind of movement to catch up to an ally with just this one ability. It's ridiculous. Throwing that slow will ruin almost anybody's day. Be careful though to not put yourself in a bad spot just to get that shot off. I've typically seen Khitas do that and end up in a world of hurt afterwards. Modifications, I like to use Ready Aim Fire for 2 reasons. One, it combos into Take Aim, and also frees up the space for a little bigger ticket mod. Light-footed can also be a replacement in my opinion, but to be frank though, you may not even want an ability mod for this one if you think you can get better mods elsewhere, bigger ticket mods. Now, Rain of Arrows. This thing is nasty. It's above average damage, a decent range path, ignores cover, and everyone is rooted. You don't even need line of sight for it, you just do it. On smaller maps, this ult is a nightmare. Although you can only use it in its range, you effectively create a better Phaedra or Grail in my own opinion. I love Pins and Needles as the modification. Anything to get heals off faster, in my book, that's a good thing. Everything else personally is dealer's choice. I don't believe there's a bad mod in here, but the benefits of Pins and Needles is frankly the best. I feel that Khita is a much more proactive and aggressive support, because you can call out the heals, the shots, and the shields beforehand, so battlefield awareness and communication with your team is paramount for success. You do not heal as much as others, you do not shield as much as others, but you heal and you shield when it counts, which is the most important thing with her. Khita pairs surprisingly well with really aggro or frontline heavy teams. Her kit synergizes really well with the likes of Rask, Kaigen, Brand, Phaedra, Titus, etc, etc. Stay ahead of your team by marking the next target, using Warped Arrow around corners to keep the damage going, or to flush out hiding enemies. Like I said with Rain of Arrows, this makes Khita an absolute monster on smaller maps or with grouped team comps. I've been able to lock down constant full teams pretty frequently, and look, don't ever go alone with her, and try your best not to vault yourself into bad spots like I mentioned, because Khita will burn pretty fast compared to other freelancers. The more you keep yourself hidden, out of line of sight, or get your enemies to focus on your allies, is best for you. How's it going everybody? As we wind down this Atlas Reactor video, these names popping up right here, right now, are the winners of this week's and this giveaway, the Citadel Meridian skin from Atlas Reactor. So those guys that won, awesome, congratulations. I'll be trying to get a hold of you as soon as I can, obviously once this video goes live. And if you want to win some free stuff, whether it's from Tryon or from anybody else, if I have anything else to give away, you'll always see them at the end of these videos. And so if you want to find out what they are, make sure you keep watching. If you watched this far, thank you very much. If you've watched and you won something, thank you and you're awesome. And, you know, just thank you for giving me a shot. Until then, I'll see you guys next week. Oh, more like next time. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.